that was apparently news. So, hi everyone, and yes, that was a quick bit of news. So far, what we can only figure thus far to be possibly the biggest record-breaking alligator has suddenly appeared on a golf course in Florida. This is kind of important to me because I have family members that live down there. So, interesting to note. Then I know also the fact that people have been looking for record-breaking gators and crocodiles for a very long time, and this is probably the closest thing we've seen to an actual dinosaur in a very long time, so that's kind of neat to see. Anyway, other than that, just a quick update. Got back. Today's Monday. I'm filming this for Tuesday. Just got back yesterday on Sunday. Things went pretty much without a hitch on Friday. My aunt's funeral went by, and she's now been put to rest. She was cremated, by the way, just in case you wanted to know. She died at the tail end of winter, so the ground hadn't defrosted yet, so they needed to do something to preserve her long enough for us to give her send-off. Still gonna miss her a lot, but we gotta keep running, as they say. Didn't do any real major sales stuff, though, over the weekend. Just kind of hung around some of my family for about half a day, and then went back to my grandma and chilled for a while until I had some restless nights trying to sleep. I'm no good with humidity, and my grandmother doesn't have air ventilation, so I did the best I can with what I had, which is mostly taking afternoon naps after lunch and stuff like that. So anyway, little vacation stuff aside, I do have one piece of news I'd like to cover, and thankfully this week it's not actually bad news. As it turns out, MMO and video game creator Funcom has finally struck it big. This last May in Oslo, Norway. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. Forgive me if I butchered that completely. Funcom was given a $6.3 million private placement investment. The company has significantly gotten rid of a huge amount of its debts up to this point, and is continuing production of its upcoming projects. And I quote from an article here: Funcom has been working since last year on preparing the company for a new strategy. Going forward, Funcom is focusing on developing both smaller and larger scale games simultaneously in both Oslo and North Carolina, where the main company is based, and aims to experiment with new ideas, technologies, and business models on the smaller projects, then allowing the stuff that's actually successful to move on to the bigger projects that they are still in development on or already keeping in the works. The first of these smaller projects was the game The Park, which was also technically a spin-off side sequel to one of their previous MMOs, The Secret World, which came out 4 years ago, by the way. Literally feels like yesterday to me that the Secret World came out, but I haven't even beaten that game yet. I just happen to have gotten gifted a copy, and due to that, I think it's not free to play. I don't have to do a monthly subscription, so I could technically go back in there and just start grinding my levels up. My number one problem I have with the Secret World is that it wanted to run on finding clues and stuff, but never really gave you sensical clues. They just really annoying puzzles that baffled me. That's the number one thing that really broke it up for me, is that I was more interested in fighting the weird, creepy monsters that they could come up with, because they were essentially dabbing into a bit of Cthulhu-esque lore, if you will, like old gods and stuff. I wanted to focus more on that, especially in modern era, instead of figuring out really boring or dumb or nonsensical puzzles, which required everything from literally opening up an in-game browser to just randomly trying emotes at statues to make them activate. Seriously, that's one of the puzzles. I mean, yeah, it was a nice idea to try and innovate, but there's a point where you innovate to the point that you're driving your own players mad. I much would prefer to stuck more to the guns and just kept going with more of a combat-oriented thing, but that's just kind of my take on it. The Park was a side sequel, or prequel actually, probably, that contained a park from the beginning of the game in the Secret World. and delved into some of the backstory and lore that came from that place, and showed us some of the more interesting things, especially towards the end of the story, as to what Funcom could possibly do, especially with standalone games. Anyways, the park allowed Funcom to experiment with new technologies and acquire key knowledge on how to successfully launch both a PlayStation 4 and a Xbox One title at the same time and actually make them work. So that's already one of their main tests, to make sure they know how things will work and how it'll turn out and what they should improve and don't need to work on anymore, and just keep an eye on it to make sure that doesn't break. But the next big thing that Funcom is apparently working on is a game titled Conan Exiles, an open-world survival game which will launch in early access late this summer. The company has announced that last year it was entered into a contract with Conan Properties, making it the preferred partner for all PC and console games from here on in, based on the Conan the Barbarian franchise. To which their first announcement was Conan Exiles, and quite frankly, a survival action RPG with Conan actually does sound like something that would be right up its alley. It does sound like a good idea if Funcom knows how to properly pull this off. It essentially sounds like it'd be something along the lines of Minecraft with barbarians and Samaria and stuff like that, which again could be pretty cool if done right. Just to let you guys know a little bit more on their backstory, they've had some of the longest running and still active MMOs. Anarchy Online is currently on 15 years, Age of Conan is on 8, and the previously mentioned Secret World is on its 4th anniversary. So, and I would also add that Anarchy Online in particular has also had a huge engine upgrade not too long ago, and while it's still technically in beta, and still obviously needs some more work done on it, it's definitely a step up from what it used to be, which was essentially almost high-end PlayStation 1 graphics. So it's better. It's not perfect, but it's better than where it was sitting. So hopefully work will also continue on that engine, and they'll actually finish it up and just add that extra bit of polish and sheen on it, which will fully modernize it into the Age of Conan engine, which is what they are using for the upgrade anyways. I just like that extra bit of polish to make it Conan level. So keep up the work, Funcom, and thank you for letting us all know how things are going. Thankfully, things seem to be going well for you at the moment. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you in the next project. Can't wait for the survival Conan game. It actually sounds like something interesting. I don't know if the early access of this is going to be any good or not, or if it's even going to be free or not, but one can hope, and we'll see how it goes. That's it for this week, guys, so see you all next time.